Hi, I'm Jim Clark, President and CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of America. I'm excited to invite you to a very special event, the Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi's annual Dance Like the Stars Gala. It's a great time and a great event, and I can speak from experience. Several years ago, I was one of the participants, so I know you're going to enjoy this. It's happening on Saturday, July 19th at 6:30 p.m. at the Cadence Bank Arena. Visit www.bgcnms.org to get your tickets, and we'll see you at Dance Like the Stars.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and what a day it's been. From an active pattern this afternoon to completely dissolving this evening, and what has been a comfortable forecast since then. Our Sunday has brought us everything we could imagine. Well, what's to expect going forward? Well, from storms to fog. We're transitioning from one hazard to another, so we'll track all of those fog chances towards tomorrow morning and how long they linger around for coming up here in a couple minutes. Hot, oh, we got it. Shout out to Polar Express, because it's just going to be a hot and muggy forecast going forward, even hotter than what we had today. And how much more rain can we expect? Well, we might have some good news in that extended forecast. Of course, tracking that all for you on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. Let's talk about the here and now. And here and now, we're seeing great conditions across the region. 81 degrees there at Caledonia. That was the last of our showers that moved through the area. Our Mississippi Storm Chasers providing us with this look outside right now, showing us that there is still a bit of humidity in the air. Now, whenever that humidity is high and that dew point's high, that's when you typically get that fog on the ground. How much moisture we've gotten, all of that's still sitting there. Once that sun rises just a bit, causes that fog just to radiate just a bit more. So that's why we have those fog chances towards tomorrow morning. A few areas experiencing that, not a dense fog advisory for everybody. 79 degrees there in Amory. Again, dew point coming in with 77 degrees. So 77 to 79, not too much of a difference there. So a very saturated ground right there. So Amory, looking at you at some possibility for some fog towards tomorrow morning on that morning commute. But tracking on our Mississippi Live Weather radar right now, it's calm conditions across the region. A lot of those showers have since moved out. And just doing a 3-hour loop, you can see how the last of those showers moved in that northeast direction through Caledonia and then on east into basically a void of nothing because it fizzled on out so quickly. But more rain chances are still moving into the area, but it's going to be happening in Arkansas, still a ways away from reaching our area here in North Mississippi. I will say, looking at the latest couple of scans, definitely paying attention to that cell along I-40, but all of that transitioning into that North Mississippi, West Tennessee area. Whenever we're talking about that most significant storm right there, I'm going to do a path of what we've been seeing, and it's basically moving in this northeast direction. So we'd expect that to be through Covington, Jackson, Wynne, Arkansas, basically in summary, north of where we are here in North Mississippi. So the most significant of those threats not expected to impact our area. And a lot of these are just going to be some rumbles of thunder, but a lot of models are showing this fizzling out along the Mississippi River. So not seeing anything of note for our future forecast. And so far, we're staying in a calm pattern as we head overnight. Forecasted rain totals are not forecast. This is what we actually have seen. And you can see heavy amounts there towards DeSoto County, 1 1/4 inch. Boonville, just under an inch right there. Even on the northeast side of Lee County and northwest side of Itawamba County, 3/4 of an inch. Northern Monroe County, just over an inch. And I mean, this is where the bulk of the moisture has been. And far southwest of our viewing area, you're seeing just under, there is a 2-inch right there in Montgomery County and towards Greenwood, just along Highway 82. 2 inches, basically you get the point. 1 inch to 2 inches across the region where those showers really set up and initiated. So it has been an active evening, but what we're seeing right now on our severe weather risk is a fantastic sign. Just let me keep extending this out because there is no risk except for what's happening in New Mexico and Arizona. So that level 1 risk has been lifted, and now we're just seeing what's happened after the storm. And a lot of storm reports coming from South Haven, multiple trees to be down across South Haven. I also saw some vehicles that were knocked over, some high-profile vehicles. That's why we say stay away from those in high-wind environments. Even in northern Alabama, a tree knocked down close to some homes, some residential areas. A large tree limb was knocked down. So sporadic damage across the region, but overall, I mean, we stayed pretty clear in North Mississippi besides that one report there towards South Haven. So that's not too bad of a forecast for a level 1 risk for a severe weather possible day. But as we head further into the night, we talk about those foggy conditions moving in place for the early to mid-morning. That's going to be lingering around until some possible isolated showers trickle in by mid-morning as well. But really, once that sun starts to rise, should I say, that's where we'll get those much better conditions. Looking at our surface analysis, we talk about this interaction of high and low pressure. This high pressure out there in the Gulf right now has this clockwise rotation. So as we rotate this around that high, what's on the west side? Well, this northern wind that's going to pull in that Gulf moisture into North Mississippi. So that's one of the ways it's supplementing that moisture. Well, let's add to it a frontal boundary and a low pressure center that's circulating in that Gulf moisture as well. We're right behind this frontal boundary, which is pulling in a lot of that Gulf moisture. And just with how hot it does not take much for these to really start firing off. So that interaction of that frontal boundary, the interaction of the high, setting the scene for the active pattern that we've been in, and the active pattern, yes, we will see tomorrow as well. Well, looking at our future cast, we can kind of walk through that right here. That frontal boundary staying towards the north, so that's where the bulk of the moisture will be. We're basically getting these isolated showers on the back end of that frontal boundary. By mid-overnight, so 3 a.m., still staying on the drier side. And there's a look at those showers as they move into that Memphis area. So far, I mean, I'm not seeing anything of note for that forecast. Those mainly sticking along the Mississippi River, moving towards possibly DeSoto County, getting a sprinkle or two towards your 6 to 7 a.m. commute. But extending things back out and looking at those rain chances in the extended forecast, not seeing anything of note for our Monday morning. A lot of those staying on the lighter side and a lot of those staying clear altogether. Into our mid-morning, still sticking around the drier conditions, and by lunchtime, a lot of that moisture associated with those frontal boundaries staying towards Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, and Tennessee. North Mississippi not included until we push later into the afternoon. And by 1:30, a few of those isolated showers start to move in yet again. Gulf moisture just kicking into the area. By the time we get towards that 3 to 5 o'clock hour, that's where those chances really start to pick up into the rest of our evening. So for the next 24, that's where we'd expect those chances to be, is by mid to late morning, with a few rumbles of thunder not going to be out of the question either. But we mentioned the hot, and that we got it. 93 degrees by tomorrow afternoon, so those temperatures continuing to climb with mugginess even higher. There are still some rain chances, like we've been mentioning, but better conditions heading into midweek. And so there's a little something to look forward to, and even more to look forward to in the next 60 seconds, tracking rain chances, temperatures, everything you need to know for the work week ahead. We'll have it all here at Mississippi Live Weather.
I was made for this, crawling through the muck to find where the real problems hide.
All this dampness, it's perfect for mold, and that can mean headaches, rashes, even chronic illness for your family.
That's why we offer our Healthy Home 7-point mold inspection, to restore your health by restoring your home.
Focusing on water and mold control from the crawl space to the roof, you can call Absolute Restoration, your local and trusted restoration contractor.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynard.
Thank you for keeping it here at Mississippi Live Weather. I want to show you what you guys were seeing out in the field. Carrie there in Baldwin, a great shot of a double rainbow. I mean, double the luck, right? Seeing the end of a rainbow. But a great shot just after those showers cleared to northeast Lee County for transitioning into Itawamba County. We were talking about 1 to 2 inches that fell, and you're seeing it on the side of the roadways right there. Just some puddling on, I believe that It's probably Highway 45 if I were to guess, but either way, double rainbow, great shot, and there were several rainbow pictures that were just highlighting after the storm. But during the storm, Boonville coming in with some minor flooding there on 5th Avenue, or 5th Street, should I say. Basically what this is just one of those drains backed up, not any reports of major flash flooding, but the potential that some of these thunderstorms can consist of with all of that heavy rainfall coming down at one time. And that was within about an hour there in Boonville as that thunderstorm just remained over the top of you guys. A few power outages reported as well, but those have since been cleared from what we know and what we've been reported. So that is great news going forward, and hopefully just a sign of what's to come. We mentioned those showers sticking along the Alabama state line for the start of our evening before starting to dissolve furthermore into Alabama. Rainfall totals, they reached pretty high, and we highlighted a few of those locations. Was able to pinpoint that bullseye of 2 inches right there in Montgomery County and Kilmichael, just showing about 2.1 inches right there, 1.56 inches there in DeSoto County, 1.27 there towards Boonville, 1.42 Alcorn County. I mean, you get the point. Like I said, about 3/4 of an inch in some spots, up to 2 inches in others, just where that heavy rainfall really fell down and those thunderstorms stuck around the area. So if you're watching this and wondering, hey, what rainfall are you talking about? Well, you were one of the lucky ones because it was just such an active pattern this afternoon. For your forecast tomorrow, starting out on the drier side with some minor fog, but by the time we get towards the mid-afternoon, thunderstorms kick into the forecast yet again, so don't let that rain gear get too far away from you. You'll need that umbrella yet again for your Monday afternoon. Let's go ahead and walk through that on Futurecast. As we head overnight, a lot of that moisture just fizzling out along the state line. We mentioned this one up by DeSoto County. Just watch how those thunderstorms by 2, 3 a.m. just dissolve out, and maybe a few light showers lingering there in DeSoto County. So by 7 a.m., still remaining dry across the region, but those grays that are showing up, basically a sign of that fog cover that will be highlighting a lot of our early commuters' forecast. But if you're waking up a little bit later, that sunshine burns up that moisture, and then you're experiencing much drier conditions going forward, at least for the latter part of your morning. Like I mentioned, low temperatures, low to mid 70s, so it's going to be right around average for this time of year. No notes on that, but the heat does build by the afternoon. Let's continue Futurecast on, and we'll get to those afternoon high temperatures. As you can see, remaining dry for the mid-morning, and by late morning, the cloud cover really starts to build just a bit more. 10:30, 11 a.m., that you can see that right there. A few light showers possible by lunchtime, but that's just a sign of the moisture returning. Our peak threat for rainfall is going to come by mid to late afternoon. 1:30, still light showers across the region, but by the time we get towards 3 o'clock, you can see those thunderstorms highlighting the forecast. Those blacks that are showing up in the heart of that, showing our heaviest rainfall at the top of your screen on our scale of rainfall. So that's just a sign of how much vertical development this will have for producing large rain droplets that'll show some bulk accumulations by the time we get towards the later afternoon. Those continue to move through the area, and I don't want you to pay attention to specific areas. Like if you're in Oxford and you're thinking, well, we're going to get absolutely drenched tomorrow. Well, it might differ a county or two. What it shows, though, is that North Mississippi is a primed environment for isolated showers and thunderstorms to really start to develop. So like we were talking about today, if you're one of the lucky ones that stayed dry, consider yourself lucky, because these are going to have sporadic development through the day, and more than likely, you're more likely to see a shower than not see a shower as we head through the forecast tomorrow. Now, it could be a few sprinkles, but it could also be up to 2 inches like they saw earlier today down around Montgomery County. High temperatures, mid-90s like I mentioned, so that heat just continues to build through the forecast. And our heat indices into the triple digits, 105 Bruce, 105 Clarksdale. The reason I'm mentioning those in particular is because heat advisories are at 105 degrees feels like temperatures. So whenever you're experiencing that, heat advisories, whether they're issued or not, at least it shows those dangerous heat conditions in place. We keep those conditions going into our evening, and as our sun sets, temperatures cool off, and so do those rain chances. Just kind of cool off, or rain chances cool off, I guess dissipate out, there you go. But clear out as we head into that overnight forecast, and by the time we get into our Tuesday morning, still remaining on the drier side. A lot of that moisture over and around Arkansas stays in Arkansas before transitioning more into our area by late morning, early afternoon. Once again, highlighting our afternoon forecast. Now, coverage right now is a bit more extensive than what we saw even the last couple of model runs. So that's showing that there is some trending towards a more wet forecast for our Tuesday afternoon than what we were hoping for, but it should still be a bit drier than our Monday and even today's forecast. So that's a good thing, and we'll take any blessings that we can get in that extended forecast. But into the overnight hours, we're talking about Wednesday morning, staying on the drier side yet again. That summer trend continues. And speaking of summer trends, the temperature trend continues as well. But we are showing even hotter temperatures, 96, Columbus, Grenada, Greenwood, Greenville, lots of locations getting into that upper 90s range. And those heat indices, I mean, you can see it on your screen right there. You're in the triple digits more likely than not across the screen. Just a sign of what's to come, a sign of that heat that's to come. And I really expect heat advisories to be issued for your Tuesday, for your Wednesday. Just prepare. Stay hydrated. I drank some water off screen a second ago, and I was thinking, oh, I'm developing good habits because you need it this time of year. But forecasted rainfall, we're talking about the impacts. Tomorrow, not going to be too extensive, just a few showers. For your Tuesday, should not be too extensive. You're seeing about 1/100 of an inch here, 1/100 of an inch there, not seeing widespread rainfall chances. But over the next 5 days, this is really not a lot of rainfall for this time of year. 1/4 of an inch for a good portion of the Alabama state line. But as we push further towards the west, drier conditions, maybe a few 100ths of an inch, with a few exceptions, with 1/2 an inch down there closer to Rolling Fork area. But still, it's very sporadic. We're probably not going to see a 1/2 an inch in a lot of locations just because of those thunderstorms cycling on through and the drier conditions that'll be in place this week. Looking at those percentages, we up Tuesdays to about 30%, just showing that it is trending a little bit more moist. But by the time we get towards Wednesday, Thursday, maybe a bit more on the drier side, at least comparatively speaking to your Monday and Tuesday. But don't worry, the rain chances build back Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, really seeing those pick up. So make sure to have that rain gear around all week, even though you might not need it some days. Heat-wise though, hydration, staying cool, air conditioning, yeah, that's your best friend this week, with temperatures climbing into the mid to possibly upper 90s for a few locations, and those 90s stick around all week long, remaining well above average. You can see average 92. We only have 192 this week. So sign of things to come. July's kicking in, and you just got to prepare for that heat. Now, we do want to encourage you, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat or send it to us here at Mississippi Live Weather. We want to answer those and give you the information that you need as you head into the work week ahead. But yeah, it should be a good work week. Just stay dry, stay cool, and prepare for your typical July forecast. And thank you so much for joining us tonight at Mississippi Live Weather. We'll be back live here tomorrow night, coming up at 5, 6, and 10. So keep it here for the very latest. We'll see you tomorrow night. And of course, download the app. There you go. QR code on your screen, iOS and Android. Scan that on your phone. It'll take you to the App Store to download that app right now. And of course, get that latest information. You get a extended forecast, an hour-by-hour forecast. You get live Mississippi Live Weather radar. And of course, the stream at the top of your screen. And guys, we want to see your pictures. So go to the side and go to Submit Picture. And then it'll just include your name, your location, and then or where the picture was taken, as well as the time and the date. I want to add that in there. But all that information can be found on the app, and we love that you guys are interacting with us and a part of this journey with us. And of course, we will see you tomorrow night.
When people are fed, futures are nourished. They can connect with the world around them, unlock endless possibilities, and thrive. Join the movement to end hunger. Volunteer. Advocate. Donate. Go to feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.